Welcome to the Performing Arts Series brought to you by the Kennedy Center and the Prince William Network. I'm Tim Horniak. I'm the author of Loving the Machine, The Art and Science of Japanese Robots, and I'll be your host for today's show. Robotopia Rising is part of the Kennedy Center's Festival of Japan Culture plus Hyperculture. Joining me in the studio is Matt Alt. He's the author of Super #1 Robot, Japanese Robot Toys, and Battlefield High School's robotics team, the RoboCats. Before we go on, I want to remind you that this program is interactive. You can send us your questions through the phone number that's going to appear on your screen or by email. We look forward to hearing your questions later on in the show, so send them in. During the show, we're going to take you on a historical journey that chronicles the rise of robots in Japan. We're also going to profile some of the country's most amazing robots, the Honda Asimo and the Toyota Partner Robot. They're incredible machines. Later on in the program, we will sit down with two of the industry's leading lights, Dr. Hiroshi Ishiguro and Tomotaka Takahashi, and we will also talk with some young scientists who are building robots on their own as we explore Robotopia Rising. Welcome back to Robotopia Rising. Joining me in the studio is Matt Alt, author of Super #1 Robot. Matt, thanks for being here.
Pleasure to be here.
It's great to have you here. Matt, now you are a native of Washington, and you have been a fan of robots for a long time, haven't you?
That's absolutely right. Some would say even a little obsessed.
How did you get into robots in the first place?
Well, it's interesting. When I was a child, there were a lot of Japanese animation shows on TV, which are called anime, and they sold products of some of these. And actually, one of them that I got as a Christmas present when I was a young kid just really sparked this deep interest in learning more about the robots and the characters themselves.
Okay. What did you do from there? Did you become inspired to follow your dream with robots?
Yes. So you could actually say that robots changed my life. I actually live in Tokyo now,
okay.
And with my wife, I run a small translation company that specializes in Japanese entertainment products, video games, anime, comic books, and that sort of thing.
Okay. Are robots still part of your everyday life in Japan?
I suppose you could say that. There are robots all around the office, and many of the products we translate deal with robotic themes.
So video games and that kind of thing.
Absolutely, yeah.
There are a lot of cool video games featuring robots in Japan.
That's true.
I know that you also have a special collection of robot toys. You want to tell me about that?
That's true. I do have a collection of robot toys, and I loaned them to the Kennedy Center, about 30 of them.
Okay. And they're on display at the Kennedy?
They are on display at the Kennedy Center. And actually, I brought one to the studio. We should take a look at it.
Okay. Let's look at it in a sec. We're going to look at some images of robots, and jumbo machiners is what they're called.
That's right.
This one here.
Now, this toy is 2 feet tall. It's made of polyethylene plastic. And in Japan, it's called a jumbo machinder.
Okay.
And as you can see, they have Japanese written on their chests. And that is what really fascinated me as a kid, because I couldn't figure out what was this strange writing. I asked everybody around me. It turned out they were from Japan.
Okay, cool. What is this robot's name?
The robot that we're looking at right now on stage here is called Grendizer. It's from a 1976 animated series of the same name.
I think I remember that being broadcast in Canada, my native country, as Goldorak.
Yes, it was broadcast in a variety of names.
So he has a whole bunch of interesting weapons and stuff here. What are some of the cool missiles that he's
got? He sure does. As you can see on his shoulders and legs here, they have the missiles all over them, and he's got these giant sword-like things in his chest. He's just kind of a giant robot.
He's just bristling with weapons.
He sure is.
But most Japanese robots are a bit cuter than our friend Grendizer here. In fact, when I was doing the research for my book, Loving the Machine, which is over there behind Grendizer, I found that the history of robots goes back quite a long way, in fact centuries, and I had the chance to explore some of this tradition. I visited the Nagoya area, and I got into what's called karakuri dolls over there. Karakuri dolls are amazing clockwork dolls. Have you ever seen some of these karakuri
I have.
dolls?
I've seen them in museums. They're really amazing.
They are incredible. They operate using clockwork technology, springs and coils and gears and that kind of thing. And in the Nagoya area, as I said, some of them are performers on these large floats during the religious festivals that they parade around through the streets of the city there. You can see them performing acrobatics on stage, changing their costumes in the blink of an eye. They're amazing magicians, entertainers, and actors all rolled into one of these karakuri dolls. We're going to show you some video here of these clockwork dolls coming to life. Check it out, it's really amazing. Robots have been around in Japan for a long time. Centuries ago, master craftsmen in Japan created astounding dolls that delighted the people. These dolls were known as karakuri ningyo. Not only were karakuri rich in craftsmanship and beauty, they could move in surprisingly lifelike ways. These ingeniously wrought dolls are the ancestors of modern Japanese robots. Karakuri were powered by wind-up mechanisms like spring coils. They could serve tea and shoot arrows from a bow. Karakuri enchanted everyone, from young children to samurai lords. They are still a big hit. Well, Matt, what did you think of that amazing archer doll? Pretty cool stuff.
It's beautiful. They're kind of like the ancestors of modern Japanese toys.
They are. I love the way that little doll could take an arrow out of the quiver and put it in a bow and fire it like that.
Yeah, not bad for 18th century technology.
Amazing stuff. Well, speaking of that technology, we have some of it right here on the table. This is karakuri technology in action. This is called a shinansha in Japanese, which means a south-pointing chariot. As you can see, it has two wheels here, base and a geared mechanism here in the middle. And this is a pretty technical, elaborate setup here, but all it does is no matter which way you turn this little chariot, it always points in the same direction, the figure on top of it. This south-pointing chariot goes back quite a long way, apparently all the way back to the ancient Chinese emperors. Did you know that?
No, I did not. What did they use it for?
Well, they used to cross the Gobi Desert in China, and of course that's a big wasteland. It's easy to get lost there. They used these south-pointing chariots on their own chariots so they could always know which way south was, so they could get across the desert safely. I love these little things. They're really cool toys, and there's no compasses or magnets or anything like that. And so this is, the heart of the modern robots in Japan comes from this kind of clockwork technology. Well, you know what? What is another big influence on the rise of modern robots in Japan?
That would be anime and manga.
Anime and manga, yes indeed. Anime being Japanese animation, manga being Japanese comics. I want to introduce you to one of my favorite icons of Japanese animation and comic books, and his name is Astro Boy. Astro Boy was created by a comic genius, as he's known in Japan, called Tezuka Osamu. Osamu Tezuka in English. The names are backward in Japanese, different order anyway. But Astro Boy, as you can see, is a really cute little robot hero from the pages of Japanese manga. He had 7 special powers, didn't he?
He did indeed. I don't remember exactly what they were, but he was a little powerhouse.
I think one of them was searchlight eyes, and he also had an atomic engine. He was created at a time just after World War II in Japan, when the country was devastated from the war. The cities of Hiroshima and Nagasaki were, of course, devastated and laid waste by the atomic bombings of those cities. But he had his own little atomic engine, and Tezuka wanted to show that this technology could be used for peaceful purposes, and you could see that in the pages of this manga, it says Tetsuwan Atomu, which means literally iron-armed atom, isn't that right?
Strength. It's all about how strong he is.
It's all about how strong he was, yeah. He was kind of like Mickey Mouse and Superman rolled into one cute little package. You can see the very detailed drawings that Tezuka did chronicling the adventures of Astro Boy. He kind of acted as a bridge between humans and robots in these amazing science fiction stories of the future. Were you a fan of Astro Boy when you were growing up?
Yeah, absolutely. Astro Boy was, an inescapable presence in Japan, and even in America to a certain extent, since it was broadcast here in the 1960s.
Do you think he even influenced the culture of those jumbo machined robots?
Oh, certainly.